Namaste and welcome back to Typical Monk. Today, we will understand how a single thought moves a muscle. The sliding filament, theory, the sarcomere, the human skeleton and its joints, all in simple language and drilled the neat way. One idea at a time. Here is today's path. 5 stops. First, the types of movement and the 3 kinds of muscle. Second, the sarcomere and its binding pattern. Third, the sliding filament theory of contraction. Fourth, the skeleton, joints, and some important disorders. And fifth, NEET drills, that is, assertion, match, and statement. First, let's lay the foundation. Movement is a defining feature of life, and locomotion is movement that causes a change of place. It has 3 types: amoeboid, ciliary, and muscular. Skeletal muscle, attached to bones, striated, that is striped, and voluntary, that is under our control. Smooth, that is visceral muscle, in the walls of internal organs, non-striated and involuntary. And cardiac muscle, the heart wall, it is striated but involuntary. Now the fine build of muscle, the sarcomere. A muscle fiber is packed with myofibrils, and each myofibril is really a chain of sarcomeres. A sarcomere is the region between 2 Z-lines. This is the functional unit of contraction. The I band, which looks light, holds only the thin actin, and the R band, which looks dark, holds the thick myosin. At the very center of the AA band is the 8th zone. Here there is only myosin, with no overlap. At rest, actin and myosin overlap only at the edges of the R band. Now the heart of this chapter, the sliding filament theory. Contraction is really the sliding of thin filaments over thick. The sarcomere shortens. The filaments themselves do not. A signal from the sense reaches the neuromuscular junction, releases acetylcholine, and sends an impulse racing across the sarcolemma. This releases calcium from the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Calcium binds troponin, shifts tropomyosin, and opens up the active sites on actin. Energized myosin heads form cross bridges with actin and pull it inward. This is the power stroke, and the Z lines are drawn closer. Then the I band and H zone shorten, but the length of the A band stays the same. And when calcium returns, the muscle relaxes again. Now let's move to the framework of bones. The adult skeleton has 206 bones, grouped as axial and appendicular. The axial has 80. That is the skull, vertebral column, sternum, and ribs. The skull has 8 cranial and 14 facial bones. The vertebral column has 26 vertebrae, and the rib cage has 12 pairs of ribs, 7 true, 3 false, 2 floating. The appendicular has 126, that is the limb bones and the pectoral and pelvic girdles. Now, the joints and some important disorders. Fibrous joints do not move. Like the skull sutures, and cartilaginous joints move slightly, like those between the vertebrae. Synovial joints move freely. Ball and socket, like the shoulder and hip, hinge like the knee and elbow, and pivot, like the one between the atlas and axis. Myasthenia gravis is an autoimmune disease that attacks the neuromuscular junction and brings muscle fatigue. Tetany, that is, spasms caused by low calcium in the blood. Osteoporosis, an age-related loss of bone density, often from low estrogen. And gout, swelling in joints from uric acid crystals building up. Now, the high-yield pointers, the facts that NEET turns into questions. 1. Contraction means sliding filament. During contraction, the I band and H zone shorten, but the A band stays the same. 2. Calcium binds troponin, tropomyosin moves, and the active sites open. And the neurotransmitter is acetylcholine. 3. The thin filament is actin, along with tropomyosin and troponin. The thick one is myosin, whose head carries ATPase and a binding site for actin. 4. The skeleton means 206 bones, axial 80 and appendicular 102,006. Ribs 12 pairs, that is 7 true, 3 false, 2 floating. 5. Red fibers, rich in myoglobin, aerobic, and slow to tire. White fibers, anaerobic, and quick to tire. Now the first drill, assertion and reason. Each time, ask, is it true? Is R true? And does R explain A? First, during muscle contraction, the length of the A band stays constant. R, the thick myosin filaments do not shorten. The thin filaments slide inward. Both are true, and R explains A, so the answer is A. Second, a smooth muscle is under voluntary control. R, smooth muscle, is found in the walls of internal organs. Here, A is false, but R is true, so the answer is D. Third, calcium ions trigger the exposure of actin's active sites. R, calcium binds troponin and displaces tropomyosin from the active sites. Both are true, and R explains A, so the answer is A. Now, the second drill, match the column. Make the correct pairs. The thin filament protein, actin. The one that masks the active sites at rest, tropomyosin. The freely movable joint, synovial, that is ball and socket. And low calcium in the blood, tetany. Now, the third drill. How many of these statements are correct? Test them one by one. First, the sarcomere is the region between two Z lines. This is correct. Second, during contraction, the A band shortens. This is wrong. Third, the adult human skeleton has 206 bones. This is correct. So, the correct statements, 2, that is, 1 and 3. Now let's clear up the mistakes students fall into. Misconception. During contraction, the actin and myosin filaments themselves become shorter. Truth. They slide over each other. Their length does not change. The sarcomere shortens. Misconception. During contraction, the A band shrinks. Truth. The A band stays the same. It is the I band and H zone that shorten. Now, test yourself. Answer each one before it appears. Answer first. That is how you build strong NEET recall. First question. The functional unit of muscle contraction. The answer, sarcomere. Second question. Which ion triggers contraction? Calcium. Third question. The total number of bones in the adult human body? 206. Fourth question. Which band stays constant during contraction? The AA band. Fifth question. What kind of joint lies between the atlas and axis? A pivot joint. Let's gather it all in one breath. No. Skeletal muscle is built of myofibrils, which are made of sarcomeres, the unit between two Z lines. Contraction means thin actin sliding over thick myosin. The sarcomere shortens. Calcium binds troponin, tropomyosin moves, and myosin heads form cross bridges and pull. The I band and H zone shorten. The A band stays the same. The skeleton means 206 bones, axial 80 and appendicular 126, and synovial joints move freely. Next class, how the message travels, neural control and coordination. See you there. You now understand how a single thought moves a muscle. Keep stacking chapters like this, one idea at a time, with a calm mind, and you will surely crack NEET. This is Typical Monk. Every class, always free.